then, and now. History is doomed to repeat itself, and other phrases of that nature presume to let us know that if we don't learn the lessons of the past, we will be fated to make the same mistakes thereafter. But I do not think it's that simple. One cannot simply make the mistakes of 100 years ago, for example. They were of their time. We are instead making all new ones. And it's easy to distract people from now by making them think of then. And that is where, for some, the correlation ceases to exist for them in the now. But methods and ideals of the past, as we are told, are being used currently, so they become present realities rather than long-lost metaphors or atrocities. One I am reminded of by way of the current farming situation growing all over the world is the famous photograph of America, the one with the huge pile of buffalo skulls, with the caption that to get control of the native population and control them in their land, they wiped out nearly their entire food supply. Control the food, control the people. Covered in my recent article, If You Control the Food. But it's another of those past sayings that has remained all the way through the last century and now serves to haunt us. Because that is where we are. After they have tried to persuade, coerce, herd, manipulate, and even kill people into following their plan, this is their last big guaranteed winning card. Or so they think. Because they need everyone to comply and go along with it early on. To get weary of the toil, of the pressure and continuous threats to safety and well-being, for it to grind away at any hope and happiness there once was, and in its place, to remain a useless and needy specimen. People have actually started to push back, to pay attention and realise the depth of the situation. Indeed, there may be an element of disruption in their plans to overwhelm Europe with immigration, and in their digital net being cast to include more of our daily lives. But it's not going smoothly, or to plan, it would seem. It appears there is a hurried, chaotic, and disintegrating air about it while it's unfolding around us. We can see it, and feel it. Well, some can. But it feels as if a cycle is coming to an end. That there is a predetermined clock ticking down, bringing something with it. I suspect there is a very good reason we are distracted by time, and the powers that make sure we have it drummed into us, and constantly repeated throughout our lives, as they do with history, regurgitating facts and dates, all lined up neatly into chronological order so that they can use it to refer to as needed, to solidify their version of events and the past in our minds. Because if we did not know about history, how could we possibly know if we were doomed to repeat it? And maybe that's part of the problem, and why we do repeat certain things, or will always be doomed to the same fate. We are creatures of repetition and replication. It's our comfort zone as humans, or for most. Maybe because foolishly somewhere there is a belief that it will be different this time, but it never is. Unless you can break the cycle, you are doomed to repeat it by way of education. The system of indoctrination is vast and far-reaching, going back generations, and means we are all institutionalised in some way. Yet despite them educating us in history, we only know what they decided to teach us. So much of it has been omitted, fabricated, bastardised, mistranslated, personally interpreted, stolen, hidden, or destroyed. So we are left with fragments of truth and real history scattered throughout a patchy timeline at best. As if the past and knowledge are a jigsaw puzzle, let's say a 1,000-piece one. You get given 5 pieces that are real pieces, and 50 that are not to start you off, and then asked to decide what the picture is. You don't really know, so you'll have to trust what they tell you it is, or decide to wait and see. Throughout your life, however, you start finding more pieces of the jigsaw. Small pieces here and there in odd places, sometimes a handful at once. And as the picture begins to emerge, you are realising that it isn't anything like you have been told it would be. Starkly different, in fact. So, you want more pieces of the puzzle. You want to know what it is they didn't want you to know. Because the only way things can be hidden away is because they are known and exist as a piece of the puzzle. We all may have our own jigsaw puzzles on the go, or not. And some people may be just fine with the given version of our past and history, and for them there are no more questions. But for some of us, it does seem that there is an awful lot to be uncovered and rediscovered, and it really is starting to feel as if we need to get on. Time is getting on.